Buenas tardes y bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Simon Hunter, soy el responsable de la edición en inglés de El País. Normalmente hacemos estos directos en inglés, pero hoy es un día especial y vamos a hacer como una mezcla de inglés y castellano, porque tengo el honor de presentaros a Eddie Izzard. Un gran honor presentaros a Eddie Izzard. Now I'm going to say all of that in English, because we're going to have some viewers that are watching us that don't speak Spanish, and vice versa. So this is going to be a kind of strange mix-up.
I know how to do this though. I can do this in French. En français, on peut le faire parce que je m'appelle Izzard, c'est Simon ici. Nous allons faire un interview en espagnol, castellano, et anglais aussi. What you can do is if you just say a little bit and then put it on castellano and then do it another bit and then in castellano. That's the way I've done a whole speech about the Olympics. In French and English, but you just change it every other word. You don't have to wind back, you just keep sort of going through and people get the hang of it.
I suddenly feel very superfluous and have been schooled by the great polyglot Eddie Izzard.
That's just, actually I think it's a terrible word, polyglot. Multilingual sounds quite good, and the polyglot sounds like, oh, you've got polyglot, oh right. Yeah, they can treat you, they can give you an injection.
Pues Eddie me está explicando cómo hacer esto de una manera muy eficaz, porque básicamente él tiene muchísima experiencia de hablar en varios idiomas. Está aquí ahora mismo en España haciendo una gira, una parte de su gira enorme que se llama Force Majeure. Ha visitado a muchos países y está... Muchos países. 29 países. Sí. Y está aprendiendo su monólogo en castellano, un idioma. I wouldn't say you don't speak Spanish, but you...
No, I don't. I can say 29. I can say mi nombre es Eddie Izzard. I can say dos cervezas por favor. I can say,
which is very important.
Me gustaría, things like that. But I can't. And I know lots of words: casa and hombre and mujeres. And I can say carro in supermercado.
Yes.
So I've got all these words from doing my stand-up. And my brother Mark Izzard, he's the expert on the language. So he's translating the whole show, which I've already done in French and German, and now in Spanish. And I'm going to come to Central America, South America. Yes. Latino America.
Yes, America Latina. And I wanted to start the interview by using a word that I know you know, because I saw the show the other day. And I wanted to congratulate you on your huge cojones, because to stand up in front of a room full of people and do a comedy set in a language that you are essentially learning is just astounding. And as I said to you, many apologies for what happened yesterday. We were all ready to go yesterday with this live, this Facebook Live, and Facebook stopped working basically. So apologies for that. But as I said to you yesterday, I thought it was extraordinary because the mood in the room just changed for me, because you're speaking to a lot of expats and you're speaking to people who have gone through that process of learning a language, learning a second language, in this case Spanish. And we were just, I think everyone just is sitting there going, yeah, this is, and kind of willing you on.
Well, there's also some bits, because I'm learning it like a play. How do you say play? ¿Cómo se dice?
Una obra de teatro.
Obra de teatro. At this moment, no, that's in German. At this moment, ahora. It's like that, but I'm going to get 60 minutes. 60 or 70? 60. 60 minutos. Todos en español, and then I will come to Habana in Cuba, and I will go to Puerto Rico. I've already filmed, and I want to go to Buenos Aires, and I want to go to Mexico City. So all these places, and I will do 60 minutes, and hopefully have another local stand-up come and play as well, and I'll do a tour of all of. Todos en español. Todos en español.
Now, we've got some questions. We've got people watching, obviously, live on Facebook. We're getting some questions in Spanish and in English. Now, someone has asked, Ángel Lázaro, gracias por tu pregunta, thank you for your question. He said some humour on Brexit, and really, it's kind of hard to stop you talking about Brexit. You were campaigning...
Well, no, I don't... Well, I talk about it, but not in the stand-up. I only occasionally mention it. I just say this is part of... I'm not really doing humour about it. I'm standing for election for an MP, hopefully in 2020. I campaign very vigorously. I just think running away and hiding from Europe, running away and hiding from the rest of the world is not the way forward. We've done this in the 30s where people said, I mean, you've got Brexit hate and Trump hate going on. And people voting to go back to the 30s and say, hate the Muslims, hate the Jews, hate the immigrants, hate this. forget that. If you want someone to hate the haters. Hate these people who are extremists, who are pulling things apart, pulling us all separately and taking us back to the 1930s where Franco was here and Hitler was over there and Mussolini was over there. We don't want to go there, so I'm trying to be positive and reach out. Proud of my country, but reaching out to other countries. Can we learn from you? Can you learn from us?
Yeah. Estaba diciendo básicamente que es como estamos volviendo a los años 30 y que si hay que odiar a alguien, hay que odiar a los que odian. Y ese es el problema. Eddie usa mucho los dos términos Brex hate, como Brex odio, como Brexit, Brex odio, y Trump hate también. Perdón, he perdido mi acento un poco ahí. I'm losing my accent. I'm trying to switch between the two. We got a message as well from Jaime Garcia. It says, Eddie, we love you here in Mexico City. When will you visit us?
How I say coming up there,
sí, voy a México.
Yo voy.
Yo voy a México. A México. Me tenéis que perdonar, mi acento está más Michael Robinson que nunca porque estoy con una comida de coco aquí intentando hablar en los dos idiomas. We got an interesting question here from Fernando Javier Torrico Fernández. ¿Cuál ha sido tu momento más vergonzoso? What's been your most embarrassing moment? You don't strike me as someone who's very easily embarrassed.
Well,
Eddie.
no, if you come out as transgender 31 years ago, you've sort of gone beyond the embarrassment line. Most embarrassing.
Ha dicho que si sales como transgénero hace más de 30 años, pues es que ya más o menos has pasado la línea de tener vergüenza con nada. Yo no creo que hacía falta que yo explicara que
años.
Eddie es 31 años.
31.
The one is important.
Which one? 31. Yes, I count them. You know, next year it'll be 22. 22. But yes, I don't know what's my most embarrassing. I try to avoid embarrassment and just. I keep marching on. So,
dice que intenta evitar situaciones vergonzosas y sale adelante. Now we have a question in English here from Snea Mystery. She says, how have the audience been reacting to your set here in Spain? She says, unfortunately, I couldn't come to see you.
Well, I think it's been a beautiful reaction. I really like talking to Spanish comedians. Do you want to say that? You translate that.
Sí, que la pregunta fue que si cómo han reaccionado las audiencias aquí y dice que ha sido genial, que le gusta muchísimo hablar con los cómicos españoles.
The ones who are Spanish speaking as well, like Argentinians and from wherever in America Latina.
No solo los españoles, sino los que hablen en castellano también.
But it's great. I think people aren't quite sure because I do the first bit in English because I'm learning the show from the back in Spanish. So that's a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
But when they change, then it gets, I think everyone goes, whoa.
Yeah. Dice que le está aprendiendo la parte en español, o sea, la última parte, entonces empieza en inglés y la gente está un poco en plan, ¿esto qué es? Okay, we have an interesting question from Josué, ¿cómo se pronuncia eso? Josué Pérez Castillo. Dice que si tu aspecto tiene un efecto negativo, creo que quieres decir, con tu carrera política, o si crees que a la gente ya no le importa. So the question is, do your looks interfere with your political career, or do you think people are not bothered with it anymore?
I think some people might be bothered, but this is a time, especially now, to push forward on this. But mainstream Britain is not bothered because, you know, LGBT, it's the third millennium. If we don't get sensible about this, this is my genetics, I'm expressing masculine side, feminine side, just everyone needs to calm down and relax.
Que dice que todo el mundo tiene que calmarse y relajarse, que ya la mayoría de la gente en Inglaterra y en Gran Bretaña a ellos no les importa, pero obviamente hay algunas personas para lo cual es un problema. I particularly enjoyed you sitting next to Nigel Farage on Question Time. En un programa de debate político antes del voto de Brexit, Eddie estaba sentado al lado de Nigel Farage, que es el político que ha liderado básicamente la campaña pro-Brexit en el Reino Unido. Y no puedo pensar en dos personas más diferentes que tú y Nigel Farage. I can't think of two people who are kind of more contrasting than you and Nigel Farage. How was that experience for you, Eddie?
Well, fine. You know, I just brought up the fact he was from an immigrant family and married to an immigrant and hated immigrants. That is, there is a confliction in his life, and he, you know, it doesn't make any sense. He's overcompensated. He comes from a rich heritage of immigration, and he hates immigrants, so he must hate himself.
Está explicando que este tío debe tener un auto-odio porque él viene de una familia de inmigrantes, está casado encima con una señora de fuera de...
And he couldn't answer that question. He just could not, and avoided it and avoided it.
Y se negó a contestar. Vale la pena ver el vídeo si lo podéis buscar. Okay, next question. This is from Morris José Antonio. En castellano dice, hay un Brexit xenófobo que es diferente de un Brexit económico, which is basically saying, you know, was the Brexit vote, do you see it as, was it more xenophobic, or it was on economic issues?
Well, I don't know. It could be a mixture of it, but... you
did a lot of campaigning. I mean, you must have got a good...
Basically, you have a 2008... I mean, this is not really... none of this is in my show. My show is just comedy. But the 2008 financial crisis, the government of the day, the Conservative government said, let's do austerity. That hit the people on the lowest incomes. They said, where have our jobs gone? And right-wing newspapers said, it's Europe's fault. So they voted against that. So it was gone. They said £350 million a week was going to go into the National Health Service. This is what the Brexit people said, and then they just ignored that the next day and said it was a lie.
Sí, está hablando de las mentiras durante la campaña y que... I've got a good question that I've just seen here. Yeah, this is a good question, and I was wondering about this actually because you caused quite a stir when you came into the El País offices yesterday, as I was saying to you. And do you find there's a difference between how people receive you in Britain and the rest of Europe? I mean, you said that people in mainstream Britain are very kind of accustomed.
Well, it's more. I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be certain places where you get more grief, less grief. But you know, I've now run 70 marathons, raised over about it's about €5 million, about $5 million on this, and that's separate. Then I'm performing in 4 languages, and I'm campaigning for, we're going to have a world where all 7 billion people have a fair chance, all 7 billion people. And so this is the least of the problems. I guess came out 31 years ago, but I'm a fighter. I fought for 31 years about this. I fight when I'm running marathons. I did it in this year for Nelson Mandela, 27 marathons, 27 days, so I'll just keep fighting.
Sí, está diciendo básicamente que va a seguir luchando para que el mundo sea más justo, para que todos los 7 billones de personas que hay en el mundo tengan una oportunidad. Dice que esto no es el gran problema, que hay mucho más problemas en el mundo, y dice, ha hecho hincapié en sus maratones. Igual muchos de los que estáis viendo esto, que no sois de fuera de Inglaterra, no sabréis que Eddie ha hecho un montón de maratones, pero maratones en 10 seguidos, hasta 2 maratones en el mismo día para recaudar fondos, en el mismo día, para recaudar fondos, una vez por toda Inglaterra, y luego la segunda vez en Sudáfrica, como un homenaje al Nelson Mandela, que es un gran héroe. It's fair to say he's a hero for you.
Political too. Him and Lincoln are the 2 political guides for me.
Lincoln?
Yeah.
President Lincoln?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
el presidente Lincoln y Nelson Mandela el presidente
Nelson Mandela.
También, sí, presidents, yes. Presidente Nelson Mandela también, que son los dos guías políticos para Eddie. All right, let me find you another question.
That's an interesting point, actually. Nelson Mandela's name, without the president next to it, which he became, is actually almost worth more than with president, isn't it? It's interesting.
It sounds really strange to hear him described as President Nelson Mandela.
Because he was for 4 years, and I suppose if he wanted to keep the title, but his name carries more weight than that. But Abraham Lincoln, I suppose, the same way. Abraham Lincoln.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nelson Mandela.
Actually, I'm just going to ask you one of my questions that we should have kind of covered a bit earlier, but I wondered if you could just explain where you first got the kind of the inspiration, the impetus to go off and do your sets in French and then German, because you actually did this first in French, didn't you?
Well, French was the first language I learnt. I was on holiday in Greece, actually, an island there. It was a volcanic area. went out on a small boat. The captain said, jump overboard, swim about. Kind of a crazy idea. We thought, oh, can we do this? Everyone started swimming around, and everyone was happy. It was fun. It was crazy. So we're shouting. Everyone's shouting in French and in German and in Spanish and Italian, Russian, whatever languages. And I thought, this is beautiful. This is young Europe. They're right here, right now. We're not about to go to war, and I want to fight for this. And then I thought, how can I do this? And after a few years, I came up with this stand-up.
Básicamente le he preguntado qué se inspiró para hacer, o sea, sus monólogos los hicieron primero en francés y luego en alemán. Y dice que estaba de vacaciones en Grecia, estaban en una excursión en barco y todos se tiraron por el bordo y estaban ahí un montón de jóvenes y tal, pasándolo bien. Y él decía que él quería luchar para esto, o sea, para la unidad de Europa, y decía, bueno, ¿y cómo lo puedo hacer? Y eso fue su solución, que era básicamente traducir y aprender como una obra de teatro, como hemos dicho antes, sus monólogos en otro idioma. Para los que nunca habéis visto a Eddie hacer ningún monólogo, os aconsejo que buscáis, por ejemplo, yo sé que el tema de la cantina de la estrella de muerte está subtitulado en castellano en YouTube, entonces lo podéis buscar.
En mi espectáculo, I do the sequel, I don't know how you say that.
Sí, ¿cómo es sequel? La siguiente, sí. La secuela, sí. Hace la secuela
del Death Star Cantina.
It's kind of the Empire Strikes Back of your series.
Yes, and now it has Dios y Darth Vader, so is he Darth Vader?
Darth Vader,
Darth Vader. Dios, and they fight over spaghetti carbonara. Spaghetti's carbonara, which I'm just translating at the moment. Spaghetti's carbonara.
Amazing.
It'll be in Espanol. When I get to America Latinos, I will be doing this scene, the sequela.
Muchas gracias a Fátima Fernández Gómez, que manda saludos desde Veracruz. That's saying hello from Veracruz, Eddie. And thank you for your good heart. Gracias por tu buen corazón. See, Ivan Halo saying he's going to check the new stuff. So yeah, definitely check your. But the Force Majeure tour, you've been touring it for years now. I mean, it's
since 2013. There's no rules on touring, so I've got a comedy world record now. We claim the comedy world record. 29 countries, 29
países.
Países. So comedy, nuevo record mundial de comedy. I think I'm claiming that, and I'm going for the actual world record, which is 51 at the moment.
51. Who holds that record?
That is 30 Seconds to Mars. Jared Leto's band.
Oh, really?
Have that, but they've got a record for something else. But they have done that. But I just go around claiming the records until someone says, actually, we've done that.
Sí, básicamente está diciendo que está intentando batir el récord de los más países en una gira que por lo visto lo tiene 30 Seconds from Mars, el grupo este de Jared Leto, que son 51 países. Entonces te quedan, how many you got left? You've got 20.
So Jonas, I've got 22. 23. I think 23 to pass.
Ok, sí, entonces le quedan 23 países.
And in Americano Latinos, there's lots of countries, so it's great. I got bum, 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 bum.
And this is a question I wanted to ask you, so kind of a bit of a personal question, but what do you do in these countries? Do you go and sit on a tourist bus and kind of get in the sights, or are you a mad tourist? Do you kind of keep...
Well, I will be learning Espanol. I will be aprendo Espanol when I'm there, so I will be probably sitting maybe on tourist buses with a teacher telling me, because I like to do conversation as opposed to lessons, write things out. So I like to chat, and so that's what we will do. We will explore, because I will have the show by then. At the moment, I have to learn the show, memorize it, but then I will learn Español.
Entonces, sí, le he preguntado qué hace en estos países, porque ha estado en tantos países y se coge un autobús de estos turísticos y ve la ciudad. Pero dice que no, que se va a estar enfocando en aprender español. Igual se sube un autobús turístico de estos, pero con un profesor de español para aprender, porque tiene que llegar a esos 60 minutos antes de que pueda hacer una gira completa en América Latina. Excellent. Well, that's fantastic, Eddie. I would like to give you a little gift.
Oh, I got to say one thing
yes,
before
of
that.
course.
I'm coming back to Barcelona.
Oh, yes. Oh, actually, we should mention that.
Yes.
The promoter of these gigs, Stephen, will be very cross with me if I don't mention that. I believe there's a few tickets left.
A few tickets left, so we got tomorrow night, Saturday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday.
Sí, si estáis en Madrid, todavía quedan alguna entrada.
Aquí en Madrid.
Aquí en Madrid. Y en enero va a volver a Barcelona para hacer otra serie de 10 o 11.
It'll be about 11 from the 9th or 10th.
Sí, a partir del día 9 de enero.
On eddieizzard.com.
Sí, si vais a eddieizzard.com o si lo buscas en internet lo vais a encontrar fácil, porque Eddie va a volver y aprender esos 60 minutos de comedia en español. Entonces, para disculparnos de lo que pasó ayer, que tuvimos que cancelar el directo ayer por problemas técnicos con Facebook, tenemos un pequeño regalo, a little gift for Eddie, as we had to cancel him and mess him around yesterday. Very kindly came back today to do this live broadcast, and it is a selection of Spanish Goya winning films. All language learners will know that one of the best ways to learn a language is to watch a load of films and TV in your target language. So there you go. Le he dicho básicamente que todo el mundo sabe que una buena manera de aprender un idioma es ver películas, ver televisión. Entonces tenemos aquí una selección de películas que Eddie puede disfrutar. Gracias. Y te va a ayudar con tu oído. It's going to help you with your listening.
This is good. This is muchas gracias. There's another really good trick which I tell to other people, which is because these are new films, and so I will approach them. But if you get old films that you know and you love, or TV series, and then you get it so you can switch on the
subtítulos. Sí, estaba diciendo que un buen truco también es coger películas que conoces muy bien y que puedas ver con subtítulos para aprender, porque ya sabes.
O doblaje.
Sí,
doblaje, and you can switch between the two. Sí. En español, subtítulos inglés, en inglés, subtítulos español.
Eso
it's fun.
So thank you very much to everyone who's commented. Just to say thank you to Titi Desario. Says, so good to watch a live broadcast where both English and Spanish are spoken. Sí. Que Titi dice que bien ver un directo donde se habla en inglés y castellano. Y como dije al principio, con Eddie es la persona perfecta para hacer esto, porque es muy a donde va él. I was just saying you're the perfect person to do this with on the basis of your... Yeah.
Yo comprendo, baby.
Tú comprendes. Después de enero, after January, you're going to be... Excellent.
I've learned how to swear as well in español. Yeah.
Muy importante. Ha aprendido a decir tacos, e incluso la diferencia entre ciertos verbos en mexicano y en español.
Sí.
Like certain verbs. He even knows the difference between...
Cajones y cojones.
All right. No lo estropeemos. Let's not spoil it by saying a load of swear words right at the end of the broadcast.
But you said
no, it's true. I said cojones. But don't say anything else, just in case. My mum is watching. All right.
Is that swearing?
No, cojones, no. Swearing in Spanish...
What about huevos?
Exactly. Swearing in Spanish is very different. People say very rude words that we wouldn't say.
I know, you've got lots of poo everywhere. Caca is everywhere, yeah? Mierdas everywhere.
Estoy diciendo que los tacos en inglés se usan de una forma muy diferente que en castellano. Es mucho más común decir ciertas palabras. No voy a decir ninguna. Bueno, right, let's stop this now before one of us says something really rude. Muchísimas gracias por vernos. Thank you so much for watching, y millones de gracias a Eddie Izzard por venir aquí. Miles de millones, which is a billion. Yeah. Very confusing. 1,000 million.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Yes, they don't have a word for billion.
No, mil millones. It's terrible when we're doing our translations.
You need to do billones. You need to invent.
Well, I could say billions, but then that would be like a trillion.
No, but you need to come up with the word billion because you need to adopt it. You've adopted other words.
Exactly. We need we save a word because millones.
Because the English one, the British one, used to be a billion was a million millions. Now it's 1,000 million. You know.
This is true. This is true. It's very very confusing. Es muy confuso todo esto. Así que nada, muchísimas gracias por vernos. Gracias a Eddie por venir 2 veces. Y nada, esperamos veros otra vez para otro directo bilingüe. We hope to see you another time for another bilingual Facebook Live broadcast.
And I will see you. I will see you. Yo, how do I say that?
Os veo en
América Latina.
En América Latina Y en verano, en enero, digo, en enero en Barcelona.
In Havana, I hope, yo espero.
En Habana. Así que get tickets, compra entradas.
En Puerto Rico también.
And go and see Eddie. Thank you very much for watching. Muchas gracias por vernos.
Gracias. Really good.